Morning, Ian Quick, Millionaire by 50. Today is Friday, July 24th. Um, Today I want to talk about the act of giving. You see, we are in the pursuit of wealth, financial independence, all that stuff. The idea, of course, is to accumulate more money. But just because you're seeking to increase your net worth doesn't mean you hoard everything. Um, there's typically the image of the rich miser who just makes sure he can get discounts on everything and hoard up all his money and not pay people what they're worth and so forth. And then you see the other kind of billionaire out there who donates tons and tons, billions of dollars for good causes. Look, for example, Bill Gates, how many billions has he donated towards all sorts of relief aids and education aids? Um, it's it's staggering. I'm bringing this up because of yesterday. My wife and I found out that um, some friends of ours. This is a couple we haven't really met that long ago, just before COVID started. They have a daughter about our daughter's age, and they just live down the street. So it'd be nice to have a little neighborhood friend. And throughout this entire thing, we've occasionally seen each other outside while we're walking the dog, and they're out in the yard, and the kids would play socially distant, running, chasing each other without ever actually catching each other. And we get along really, really well with them. Now, the wife was also expecting, and she had a baby um, sometime in early to mid June through a cesarean. And uh, this is a month and a half ago, roughly, and she's having complications still. It is not healing well. And yesterday, we found out that she had to go get hospitalized um, to deal with this. She's back home now, but it's complicated. And he, of course, uh, his parental leave uh, is over and he's back to working full time. And so it's kind of difficult for the household right now to, deal with a newborn and 4-year old while mom is bedridden and dad has to work all day. Now, under normal circumstances, we offer to, maybe babysit the older child, but right now with COVID, we still can't do that. So we just did a small thing for them. We prepped some food for them so they wouldn't have to worry about making dinner and things like that, just to offer a little bit of relief. Is it a lot? No. Did it mean a lot to them? Absolutely. And to know that we could just kind of help out someone is a beautiful feeling. But not only that, if we go back to the laws of the universe, uh, we are putting out the act of generosity, of increasing someone else's experience, their well being, perhaps even their wealth, some way. And that will be reciprocated. That's not why we did it. We did it because we wanted to help them. But there is something beautiful about helping people, and call it karma, call it the laws of the universe, call it whatever you want. Um, the more you practice these acts of generosity, the more in return the universe will provide for you as well. Um, I think we just kind of trigger a pay it forward chain of events because people remember how they felt when someone did something nice for them and they want to do the same. It's really great. The mom's doing better, by the way, but still she had um, infection issues and so forth. And we'll see how it all turns out. But she was in good spirits. I also want to bring up uh, something else that happened along this line that happened to me earlier when COVID hit. I've been fortunate, like I said, for the last month or so, I've been able to start performing again, start doing shows under restricted conditions. And am I doing as much as I normally would this time of year? Not even close. But I still see it as a win because I'm doing something again. But when this first started, um, right in early April, um, everything was dead. And for all I knew, I would not have any income for months. And this was before my category of worker was eligible for government assistance. The initial reaction was like, you know, certain type of people were allowed. If you were out of work, you were allowed um, so much a month. But if you were self-employed, or you turned in contracts just to get a small government check or whatnot, the rules have been amended. The point being is, at that time, I was reduced to zero income, zero potential for income for the indeterminate future. And my best friend, um, this is a man I've known for, let's see here, 36 years. My best friend um, drove by the house at one point. We had a socially distant visit, but he showed up with a pack of assorted craft beers, which was awesome. And it wasn't until he left later and I started looking at the beers that I noticed there was an envelope inside the case um, with money in it, about $200. And I could not believe he hadn't even said anything. It was in there. And just the fact that he knew times would be tough. And he also didn't. He knew I would never ask for financial assistance. Um, he just did something like that. Uh, and at that time, that $200 meant, uh, the difference between certain bills or not. I had nothing. And it was wonderful. It was just such an easy act for him to do. He was, at that time, because of his job, he was working overtime like crazy. He could spare the $200. I mean, this was never a rich man. He grew up in a modest home. They never lacked for anything, but they were never rich people. But him and his wife were doing okay. And he saw a friend in need, and he just went ahead and did something nice. And I will never forget that. And you can be sure that um, whenever an opportunity to share the wealth comes, I will take it. With him personally, um, whenever he needs me, I mean, it's always been this way, but this just served to reinforce it. If he ever needs me for anything, I'm there for this guy. I've known him for 36 years, and he's my dearest, closest friend. He's my brother from another mother. But this act of giving, this act of helping out people in need, is something that is unfortunately all too often forgotten. In times of need, a lot of people revert to hoarding, and it's a matter of survival. It's me or you, so it's going to be me. And you know, if you're able to help people, the wealth you bring them, the goodwill you build up, is priceless. And you are creating a better world. You are creating more wealth in a sense. It's something that should never be neglected. I'm sad to say that growing up, um, not that I was never lacking compassion for people, but there was often a hesitance to, well, this is, I don't have a lot of money, and this is my hard earned money. And I was probably not as generous as I could have been on certain occasions. I think this just comes with age, experience, wisdom, whatever. Wisdom. I'm not particularly wise, but I try my best. But I think this is the kind of thing that needs to be practiced more by everyone. And oh, what a better world this could be with it. Anyways, I am grateful that we were able to help out some people yesterday, even with just a small gesture, like making them a nice dinner. I am grateful for another beautiful day. I'm grateful for an opportunity that popped up for advertising this weekend. Uh, I was waiting on certain things to come together after I set them in motion, and they did. And today will be my prep day for this. But this is good. I think that's about it for today. And we'll see you tomorrow.